Good morning, this is Terry from the Frugal Connection. Welcome to my kitchen. I'm getting ready to leave for a conference and I want to prepare some food to bring with me. I'm going to be staying in a hotel and I don't want to have to spend money by going out to eat 3 times a day. And because I eat plant-based whole food, I want to have some healthy options that will hold up in a hotel room. So today what I'm going to make is some chickpea flour crackers, and I want to invite you to come along with me while I make these. All right, these just call for a few simple ingredients. I have chickpea flour here. I also have white sesame seeds. I could use black sesame seeds. I just don't happen to have any. I have 2 teaspoons of baking powder, a half a teaspoon of salt, which is optional. I also have a teaspoon of garlic powder and some water. And we're gonna get started on this recipe. So the first thing I'm gonna do is just transfer my 2 cups of chickpea flour into my mixing bowl. I'm gonna take all of my other ingredients, all of the dry ingredients, and just mix those in there with them. In the meantime, my oven is preheating to 400 degrees. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to add in my water, and this recipe calls for about 6 to 8 tablespoons of water, and I'm just going to add a little bit at a time. So I'm gonna start with 3 tablespoons and go from there. I know I'm gonna need more, but I wanna mix it in a little bit at a time. Now chickpea flour does have a different taste to it, but I like using it because it has a ton of protein. All right, I'm at 6. I'm also gonna be making some hummus today, and that I'm going to take with me also, and that will go great with the chickpea crackers. I'm going to bring some vegetables as well, just things that I can keep in the mini fridge in the hotel room. Also, I'm going to bring a tiny little igloo cooler with me with some ice, and so hopefully between all that I will make do. My plan is to have breakfast and lunch foods, and then all I have to worry about is dinner each night. And for dinner, I can bulk up more on my greens, like getting a big salad or having some vegetables and some other protein. All right, so that is 8 tablespoons. And this is what starts to happen now. It's coming together in a ball, and in a minute I'm going to get my hands in there and just start using my hands as I make this. All right. Actually, I don't need to use my hands at all. Now, like I mentioned, chickpea flour has a very distinctive flavor to it. So if you're not used to it, it just takes a little bit of getting used to, but I don't mind it at all. All right. Now I'm going to take my parchment paper and I'm going to roll out 2 pieces of parchment paper so that I can roll out this dough in between them. All right, the thing that I like about this recipe is that it uses very few dishes. And if I was not filming, I wouldn't even need to use those little bowls. I could just put it all in the big bowl. Trying to avoid using my hands because it just makes a big sticky mess when I do that. All right, friends, we got it here. I have it between 2 pieces of parchment paper, and now I'm going to just take my rolling pin and I am going to roll this out as thin as I can get it. I have this big marble rolling pin that broke. The handles broke off years ago, but I got it for my wedding which was 36 years ago, and I really, really like the weight of it. So I could get a new rolling pin, but this one works great for me, so I'm going to keep it. Uh-oh. All right, now the thing with the chickpea flour is that it does stick a little bit. So I gently peeled off the one piece, and what I'm gonna do now is get my pizza cutter, and I'm just gonna cut it into little squares, and I'm gonna leave it on here, let it start baking, and then I'll try to separate it while it's cooking, midway through. All right, I'm gonna just start cutting these into squares. They're not going to be uniform just because that's just the way it works with this, because I did it in a round shape instead of a rectangular shape, but I don't really care. The point is just to get them cut. All right. Now, what I am going to do is take my other jar of sesame seeds here, and I'm going to just take a few in my hand, and I'm just going to sprinkle it on top. Just because I want to give it a little bit more texture on the top. Okay, I'm going to take my cookie sheet. I'm going to gently slide this on top of it. Whoops. My oven has preheated to 400 degrees, and now I'm going to pop this in the oven for about 15 minutes. I'm going to check it though after 10 just to make sure. I don't want it to burn. So I'm going to check on it, see what I need to do to kind of separate out the crackers a little bit, and I will meet you back here. All right, welcome back. What I did with these crackers is I put them in the oven for about 7 minutes, pulled them out after about 7 minutes, and then I went over my lines again with my pizza cutter just so that they could start to separate and get cooked all the way around. Popped them back in the oven for the additional 3 minutes that were left on that 10-minute time. And then I pulled them out, flipped them over, stuck them back in the oven for another 5 minutes. So total cooking time ended up being about 15 minutes or so. I think it was probably closer to 17, just because I could have rolled them out just a tiny bit thinner, but they smell great. And so I'm gonna taste them and see what they turned out. They're still a little hot. Let me see if you can hear the crisp. Yep, it's got a nice crunch to it, and here we go. You know what's interesting? Chickpea flour has a very distinctive taste, and sometimes it can taste just a little bit bitter, because what it is, it's just made from roasted chickpeas, and it's ground into a very fine flour. So they're very high in fiber, they're very high in protein, but low in carbohydrates and calories. So they're very healthy. A chickpea flour is actually a good healthy alternative. But sometimes it has a little bitter flavor. But I'm noticing with these that it almost takes on like a Parmesan cheesy taste slightly. So I like it. I like it with the garlic powder, with a little hint of salt in it, and with the sesame seeds, because the sesame seeds start to roast in the oven. They kind of let off this fragrance and a tiny little bit of oil, but it's a healthy oil because they're raw sesame seeds. So definitely a keeper. And I'm definitely going to use this with the hummus that I'm bringing with me. The nice thing about it is because it's made with nothing but chickpeas, it's very high protein. So it'll keep you full without having to eat so much. I hope you'll give this one a try. I will post the link to the recipe down below in the description box. It will take you to my website, which is thefrugalconnection.com. I'm offering some healthy alternatives to your normal snacks or lunches. And also this makes a great thing to carry with you while you're traveling. It takes up very little space, and yet it will give you the protein that you're looking for. I hope you're having a great day, and I will see you in the next video.